Good morning, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all today to the United Language Competition.
Here present our honorable chief guest, Mr. Sajjad Hussain sir, UNO, Arihazar Upazila Narayanganj. Some special guests, Mr. Arif Pradhan sir, founder and president of Palash Residential Model College. And special guest, Muhammad Mahmud Hassan Faruqi sir, agricultural officer, Arihazar Narayanganj. Another special guest, Muhammad Jannatul Karim Kadir, English lecturer, Bright School and College, Dhaka, and the moderator of Bright English Language Club. Here also present our honorable principal, Mr. Abdullah Mamun, sir, the principal, United School and College. Dear guests, respected judges, and my dear lovely participants, also dear audience, today our debating topic, motion or agenda is video games increase violence in the society. Describe the matter. There are two teams here. Some performers are in favor of the motion and some are against. So in favor of the motion, there will be four performers or participants. I'm mentioning their names. First, Sharbani Bhattacharya Bidya.
Sir.
Second one, Nabid Muhammad Mayaz. Third performer is Ashrabahab. And the final one, our captain of the group, is Pushpita Afroz Pushpo. Now I'm mentioning the names who are performing against the motion today. They are also four, and the first performer will be Mr. Ismail Hadi Shayam. And second performer is Anisha Tasnim. Third one is Rafi Chaudhary. And finally, the final performer and the group captain, Sahira Nahar Alina. And our honorable judges are, our chief justice, I can say judge, will be Mr. Jannatul Karim Kadir sir, lecturer, Bright School and College, Dhaka. The special judge is Mr. Rakib Hussain sir, MA in English Literature and lecturer at United School and College. Our another judge is Mr. Suhail Chaudhary. He is from Cyprus, an expatriate. So it's a really interesting thing. So judges are really going to evaluate your performance, dear audience. If you are ready, then I can start my our debate competition. Are you ready, please?
Yes.
Thank you very much. In favor of the motion, our first speaker will be Sharbani Bhattacharya Bidya. I'm requesting Ms. Bidya to perform her logical points in favor of the motion.
Honorable moderator, dear audience and motion speaker, good morning, and thank you very much for giving me this marvelous opportunity to speak here. I'm Sharbani Bhattacharya Bidya before you, and today our debating topic is video games increased violence in society. For some sensible reason, I stand before the motion, and let me begin with a fundamental point. Violent video games reward players for aggression. If virtual violence is glorified and incentivized, how can we expect players, especially impressionable youth, to remain unaffected in the real world? As for scientific evidence, research provides undeniable proof. Studies by Anderson and Hiddle 2000 and American Psychological Association APA have consistently shown that violent video games increase aggression and its really effect in our daily life. Also, a general aggression model, GAM, explains how it's really affects in our life. It's just make our life so truthfully, so aggressive, and it affect in our daily life like aggressive thoughts, feelings, and behavior, creating long-term changes in personality. But this isn't just academic theory, it's a real-life evidence. Stanford University highlight how violent video games improves control and emotional awareness, particularly in young people whose brains are still developing. This isn't just abstract concern, it's a growing issue in our society. In Bangladesh, The harmful effects of violent video games are becoming alarmingly evident. Games like PUBG and Free Fire have sparked concerns about teenagers aggressive among they are skipping schools, engaging in violent attraction, and becoming detached from family activities are not isolated. They are always playing games, they are always on their phone. And now my opponents may claim that video games are just entertainment and not all players aggressively act. But I ask, why does research consistently show a link between violent games and aggression? How do you explain the psychological destination to violence and or the reduction in empathy documented by multiple studies? These are not hypothetical risks, they are measurable real-world effects. Now, my question to my opposite team is simple yet powerful. If violent video games have an impact on behavior, why do psychologists, educators, and even government worldwide raise alarms about their influence? Can you truly ignore the evidence of harm? Playing video games is also bad for our health.
Last 30 seconds.
To conclude, video games are not harmless entertainment. They promote aggression, normalize violence, and harm the emotional and social development of players. The evidence is clear, the consequences are real, and the time to act is now, and it's already not too late to come under our wing. I hope you will stop arguing with us and understand the statement that video games really increase violence in our society. Thank you for the time being, and thank you for judges for giving me this opportunity to speak here.
Thank you very much for your nice and valuable speech in favor of the motion. Let's see what happens and what is going to perform our next performer against the motion. And first speaker, I'm requesting Mr. Asmal Hadi Shayan to give your valuable speech against the motion. Our next performer is Mr. Asmal Hadi Shayan.
Honorable moderator, respected judges, dear opponents, and all the audiences, take my sincere greetings. Assalamu alaikum. Especially thank you, honorable moderator, for giving me this marvelous opportunity. This is Asmal Hadi Shayan before you. Today I stand here to argue against the motion that video games increase violence in society. My opponent speakers already point but the video games as a aggression, but honorable moderator, in Canada, particularly in Montreal, video games therapy has begun to develop mental and physical rehabilitation of patients. They said video therapy is used to help build confidence and social skills in children and adults. Dear opponent, you have given a wrong information about APA. It is very bad effect for us. So let me start by asking a question that can you describe any simple or normal idea that can help us to release our anger in safe way? Please describe it. Let me say a statement of a person. A spokesman from British Royal Air Force told the BBC that gathering information, acting quickly, and working together is the main hallmarks of a good video game player. Video games can increase our skills of teamwork, problem solving, strategic planning, etc. Video games lead to decrease our stresses fully from our mental that can help us to successful in our life. So let me explain a study of LLBG. We have got that research on relationship between violent video games and real world aggression, while some studies show no link between it. So this suggests that there is no significant cause that video games increase violence. Question to my opponent: if video games cause violence, why have violent crimes decreased in many places even as video games have become more mainstream? Please answer it on your second participant. This research showed already many sides of these video games. Some research also showed that some things like family problems and mental health issues, peer pressures were much bigger reasons for aggressive behavior. Considering my previous discussion, I can strongly state my opinion against the motion. However, I also think it does not require any further expression in my former description. So my opponents don't argue with us, rather say video games not increase violence in society and come into our umbrella. Especially thank you again our honorable moderator for giving me this chance, and thank you all for listening my previous discussion very patiently. Thank you all.
And now I'm requesting our next performer in favor of the motion, Navid Muhammad Mayaz. I'm requesting Mr. Navid Muhammad Mayaz to perform something about in favor of the motion today.
Assalamu alaikum and thank you for giving me the chance to tell something about this. My opponent asked that tell me some points about to resolve our anger. So my opponent listen to me. Take a long breath and then count reverse to 100 to 1 or push up 100 times. That make your anger like water. And let's do our simplifying. Violent video games have been the blame for school shootings, bullying, and women's violence, and that critics argue that violent video games doesn't see these players become more violently, and that makes our mind unprofessional. That's called by World Health Organizations. And why did you call this? It's unsubstantial. Is World Health Organization is not a website for understanding the topic like very finely. And then I can tell one thing about Minecraft. You thinking that Minecraft is a problem-solving game, but where that you have to see that you have to survive in Minecraft by killing thousands of mobs, and Free Fire and PUBG, they're on insane level of violence. And the you have told that our American Psychological Association has found a link between violent video games and real world aggression, but you told this wrong, and our research about APOs was not wrong. You guys need to work on your research finding ability. And my question to my second against the motion speaker, that in the whole world who did novel things by playing violent video games? And if playing violent video game is good, so why the gamers of those games are psychologically damaged and they behaves like very violently? And the diseases of individuals consequence of the real world aggression, while not very gamer becomes violence, but the risk increase when it's combined with other sectors such as our mental health issues and environmental issues. And I can tell one thing about that: violent video games really increase violence in society, because the Iowa State University has taken research, and they told that the children who play brutal violent video games and repeatedly learning thought patterns, and that will stick with them and influence later violent behavior. And thank you for giving the chance to tell something, and don't argue with us. Come on our window. Oh, thank you.
I'm requesting Anisha Taslim to perform her performance against the motion today.
Honorable moderator, honorable jury, friends of my opposite party, and all those who are listening, take my sincere greetings. Assalamu alaikum. So hello everyone, this is Anisha Taslim before you. Today our debating topic is video games increase violence in the society. For some sensible points, I'm standing against the motion. My opponent friends are trying to solve that video games increase violence in the society, but my team and I don't agree with them, and their examples, they are living in a full paradise. Let me clarify it. Honorable moderator, my opponent friends already said, can we give any idea of the video games which positive effects in real life? Of course I can. Honorable moderator, Dr. Leonard Sanchez, Japan, said his son gained mental skills by playing video games. Now he has got God in army. So don't try to give out wrong information. Honorable moderator, my opponent friends already said we did not mention any games like Minecraft. It's a wrong question. Honorable moderator, my opponent friends already said who did noble things by playing video games. Honorable moderator, Craven Moder, a British gamer during the Palestine and Israel were helping Palestine people by $4 billion. So, honorable moderator, my friends on the team against me are trying to point at the violence in the video games like fights. But I want I want to ask my opponent friends, are video games the only cause of violence in the society? If you think yes, I want to tell that according to the University of York, 10 to 20% violence in the world is caused by video games. So don't try to mislead us with wrong logic. Friends from my opposite team have talked a lot about the mental and physical problems of video games causes. Honorable moderator, it is not enough to tell the information. It is enough to source the information and how effective the information is. Honorable moderator, according to the World Health Organization (WHO), about 5% of people become addicted to video games by playing video games. Honorable moderator, research by the American Psychological Association (APA) states that video games harmless to about 70 to 80% people. Then how can my opponent friends say video games are harmless to us? Friends of my opposite party have cited a variety of real-life incidents like who has been harmed by video games and who has been commit suicide by video games. The honorable moderator, they don't show who has been earned money by playing video games. It's not enough. Honorable moderator and my dear opponent friends, in my speech, I have gained information about the World Health Organization, American Psychological Association, Dr. Leonard States, and so on. And I have absolutely made it clear that there is no way to harm our health and physical. And there is no way to violence in our society. So exceptions can never be an example. So don't try to spin the whole things by 1 to exceptions. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you all.
I'm requesting Ashrabahat to perform her logically valuable and crucial points.
Assalamualaikum. First of all, I'd like to thank my honorable moderator for giving me this marvelous opportunity to present my speech here. So hello everyone, this is Ashrabahat before you, and today I'll be debating in favor of video game increased violence in society. For some sensible reason, I stand in favor of the motion. Now I'm going to mention some strong points why I'm in favor of the motion. According to the April issue of American Psychological Association, playing video games like offense in 3D Mortal Kombat Doom can increase a person's violent behavior in both laboratory settings and in real life. According to psychologist Craig A, people who are habitually aggressive can be more vulnerable when playing video games. Professor and researchers of Iowa State University Arthur Anderson said, "We have found out that students who reported playing more video games are more engaged in violent behavior. Since 1917, video games have been criticized for having violent contents like fighting, murdering, and many more." Let me bring up some cases. Eric Harrison died in Klebold shooting in Columbine High School in 1999. Jared Lee in Arizona shooting and rape. Anders Breivik, who killed 77 people in Norway in 2011. People are being killed and getting raped, and you are thinking video game still is safe. And my opponent, Anisha Tasnim, gave an example about Kevin. The example you gave about Kevin was totally wrong. He didn't donate any fund. Instead, it was guilt, and he's a social worker of England, not a gamer. And then Dan Patrick, a Republican governor of Texas, has said, "We've always had guns, always had evil. But I see video games that are teaching young people how to kill." Around 2012, a Chinese gamer named Kevin beat up his own mom for not letting him play video games. Games like Minecraft, where you kill mobs to live, Fortnite, where you kill avatars to get a battle royale, and also age security. So anyone, including kids, can just hop into these games and experience violence. According to Professor Andrew Prisbylski of Oxford Internet Institution, video games drive real-world aggression crazy. According to Harvard Health, 97% of American teenagers play video games, and 66% of them are violent. Violent games can change the thinking patterns of impressionable children. When playing violent video games, children can unconsciously become more attractive toward others, unconsciously causing them to become tense and care about their surroundings. They practice thinking what is acceptable to respond aggressively and productively. You gave me another example about that people are in many form video games, and it is totally like a gambling, and gambling is like illegal in many of countries and is also haram. So I like to say to my opponents, please don't continue this pointless argument with us and come under our umbrella. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, and thank you, dear audience, for hearing me patiently.
And now I'm requesting our next performer, Mr. Rafi Choudhury, against the motion.
Assalamu alaikum to my respected moderator, dear audience, and my dear opponent. This is Rafi Chaudhary standing before you to show and to prove that violent video game can never ever increase violence in the society. For some sensible reason, me and my team against in the motion. There are thousands of reasons why violence video game cannot increase violence in the society. I don't have enough time to mention all of them, but I'm going to try my best to mention the best of them. I heard that my opponent speaker said that my opponent friend already said about Columbia University, but real fact is a study was conducted on the effect of video games on students at the University of Columbia. Researchers 14 students were asked to play video games for 18 consecutive days, and then they found that among the students who were a little physical ill, they experienced some problems. So don't spend the whole data. And my first point is, studies never ever show a clear link between playing violent video game and real world violence. So that's mean playing violent video game doesn't even make a person violent. Do you want proof? Well, I'm giving it to you. Studies in 2016 look at the children aged 6 and above playing violent video game. It found that playing this game doesn't cause any immediate action in their behavior. Even after stopping the game, even after 5 to 6 hours later, their behavior still remain the same. So my question for my opponent speaker is, if violent behavior has increased, how do you account for the other factors like family issue, poverty, and mental health challenges? And I got another significant point, that is about increasing teamwork and collaboration. Absolutely, this game does. A lot of violent video games like Fortnite and Call of Duty are the game that require player together as a team to practice the team to completing mission. At the same time, this game increase communication and teamwork skill. Or maybe that's how a person can learn how to socialize. Now my second question for my opponent speaker is, why countries with a lot of video game player like Japan has low crime rate? My second point is about skill development. Absolutely, this game does. Every hour, every situation, and every moment we have to fight to win a successful life. Our fight goes through teamwork, collaboration, and violent video. Our fight goes through problem solving and quick thinking. These are the exact thing what a violent video game teaches. And the last one is, it gives a player a chance to overcome tough challenges and defeat a powerful enemies. It creates a sense of achievement, making a person feel more strong, brave, and unstoppable. So in these days, no one likes a nerd who don't force themselves to get more stronger by playing video game. So my dear short-stand opponent, don't argue with us. That's all for the time being. Thank you.
Last and next performer in favor of the motion is Pushpita Afroz.
Honorable moderator, at first I'm going to start with our opponent speaker Rafi Chaudhary have told about Japan. Japan has low rates of crime. But did you hear about hikikomori? Young people who withdraw from society often treating video game as a primary source of isolation and emotional distress. A group of students have played hikikomori, and after that they have emotional damage and they lose their mental stability. So, honorable moderator, esteemed judges, and my dear opponent speakers, Assalamu alaikum. This is Pushpita Afroz Pushpo before you. Today, me and my team stand before you to argue in favor of the motion that video games increase violence in our society. What if the violence we see in this world today is not just a reflection of our reality, but something we actively think and even enjoy? Video games are more than just a digital entertainment. It is easy to form them as a harmless fun, but video games glorify aggression. Even they teach that aggression is a way to success. My question to my opponent that if children play video games and do the act in video games, are they not learning that aggression is the key to success? Well, in addition, video games desensitize players to the severity of violence. When players repeatedly engage in violent actions, they become numb to the impact of such behaviors, which make real-world violence, which feel less shocking or wrong. Consider to the case of Grand Theft Auto V. In this game, player repeatedly particularly engage with crimes like murder, car theft, and even torture. In fact, a 2019 study by the University of York found that after engaging with violent video games, participants showed a reduced emotional response to real-life violence. In 2017, a murder of a young lady in New York was attributed to a teenager who had spent hours by playing violent video games. Police noted that the murder was caused for the obsession of that child's video game. So, I ask you again, I have given a lot of examples, a lot of real life experiences, a lot of things. Then how can you tell that video games doesn't create violence in our society? Well, the claim that video games lead to increased violence in society is supported by scientifically and also a lot of examples. And you were telling a lot of time that to give examples. We have given a lot of examples. Then how many examples do you need to agree with us? Well, did you hear about the Fortnite, the game played by a lot of players? And in this, after in 2018, for a group of young people were trying to Fortnite kill. They are mimicking the actual scene. So how can we be surprised that if a child spend a lot of hours by playing video games, they are not trying to recreate it? So. I have given a lot of examples and hope you will understand my things, and I can give you advice. You should open your eyes and come under our umbrella. Thank you very much.
The last performer, I'm going to request our last performer against the motion, Sahira Nahar Alina.
Honorable moderator, esteemed judges, thank you for giving me the chance to say something. I'm Shahina Elina before you. As the final speaker, I will summarize our key arguments and provide our concluding remarks on why video games do not increase violence in society. So far, we have heard numerous arguments from the opposition claiming that video games contribute to violence, but none of them have provided solid evidence to support this claim. The opposition has repeatedly failed to provide any definitive evidence that violent games have a long-term impact on violent behavior. Honorable moderator, they mentioned Japan. My opposition tells about Japan. According to data in 2022, Japan is the third largest video game country in the world, after the United States and China, which is the highest number of video games played. And you guys are giving me exception, including examples. How can you invite me when you don't have an umbrella after all? Dear opponent, I think you guys didn't even get the topic properly because you guys are too busy to make our rights into wrong. Dear opponent, you should know the difference between aggression and violence. It's too bad you didn't even know the difference. Although video games might increase aggression in some players, this doesn't directly translate to violent behavior, including social economic status, mental health, illness, family dynamics, and access to weapons. Honorable moderator, our opponents are only focusing on video games and ignore the main cause of violence such as poverty and abuse and lack of data. Okay? The third speaker get the wrong idea about the Colombian high school. My previous speaker already mentioned it. Let me clear the clearest water. The Colombian high school shooting 1999, after the tragic shooting, Colombian high school, Eric Harris and Darlene Kelbert were found to have played violent video games. Some psychologists and experts pointed out that video games might be a part for this interest, but it was far from clear they were directly caused the violence. Some to the murder of James Berger 1998, the case of the Auto GTA, and the 2023 murder of Katina, and also the case of Andres Berber 2021. You want so many examples? Here are some. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So my dear opponent, are you just judging a world by one people? Please don't. Honorable moderator, the California versus International Merchant Association 2021, the court ruled that there were insufficient evidence to show that violent video games led to increased violent behavior in a way. So now I have outlined my position. I would like to ask my opponents a few questions to challenge their stance. If violent video games are the crime of violent behavior, why have we not seen a parallel rise in violent crime corresponding to the rise? Would you agree with that? Thank you.
Requesting you to join on rebuttal round. In this round, only two group leaders will be given 2 minutes to refute the arguments to refute the logics that your opponent speakers or speaker performed. First, I'm requesting again Group Leader Captain Pushpita Afroz in favor of the motion.
Honorable moderator, thank you for giving me again a chance to speak here now. Were you sleeping when you were talking? Like, we have given thousands of examples like Hikikomori, the New York murder, modern welfare murder and rape, and many more. We've already talked about Chinese violence caused by Kelvin. Why are you mentioning it again? And you have talked about the Colombian high school. Dylan and Eric himself admitted that they committed those crimes inspired by modern welfare. And you have told that they are not done that murder by playing video games. So can you please give us the main reason why they were admitted into the shooting? The claim that video games lead to increased violence in society is supported by strong psychological and neuroscientific evidence. First, researches on cognitive primary shows that violent video games fundamentally make violence in our society. And video games, after playing video games, players are rewarded by points, and even they upgrade their levels. That's why they are excited for playing video games, and after playing these types of violent video games, they become numb to done different types of violent actions. Did you ever hear about the copycat thing? Children are the copycat types, and they always try to copy everything what they are watching, and after playing these types of violent video games, they try to copy them in real world, and they don't know that it's create violence in our world. And that's why you should always give your eyes here, and also give your eyes in our examples. We have given a lot of strong points, but why are you don't agree with us? And you have told that we have no umbrella. You should open your eyes and you can see our umbrella. I think you always close your eyes and don't argue with us. Please come under our umbrella, open your eyes and saw our umbrella. Thank you very much.
And I'm requesting our next and last performer is Alina.
Respected judges, honorable opponents, and my esteemed teammates, I stand before you today to respond the points raised by our opposition. While the opposition had made some claims about video games causing increased violence in society, we are confident that these claims are based on misleading generalization, flawed logic, and insufficient evidence. As the rebuttal speaker, I'll address and refute the major arguments made by the opposition and explain why our position is still strong. I will focus on some following points. First, the opposition had relied heavily on anecdotal evidence. Isolated incidents why individuals who played violent video games later engaged in violent behavior. This is a classic example of the correlation versus causation. Do you hear me? Correlation versus causation fallacy. Just because two things happen in sequence doesn't mean one caused the another. For example, while we do hear about the tragic events where a person who has played violent video games commits an act of violence, the majority of people who play these games do not engage in violence. This selective focus on rare cases is misleading, is ignoring the broader context that many players of violent games do not engage in violence despite playing for years. Look who's talking. Columbia High School situation. We mentioned it 2 times, so stop daydreaming. Don't judge a country by one people. I'm repeating it. Don't judge a country by one people. My opponents are not coming to argue with us. They come to express our data wrong. So just stop it and focus on your own aim. My honorable moderator, if you focus carefully, my opponent didn't collect enough information. They are repeating same thing and try to make our right into wrong. So there is no scientific evidence to conclusively show that video games lead to violent crimes. Multiple data analyses, including those conducted by American Psychological Association, have found that while violent video games may cause temporary aggression, this does not translate to real-world violence. So come under our umbrella, I'm saying that video games do not increase violence in society. Thank you.
University, school and college arrange great things. I am getting surprised also. Whatever the result, you find your lackings, your weakness, you will work collectively, and our principal, I will request you to continue this sort of skills.
So today our special guest is Mr. Mahmudul Hassan Farki sir, Agricultural Officer, Arahajar Naranganj. Now I requesting our Honorable Principal Mr. Abdullah Mahmud sir to receive our special guest Mahmudul Hassan Farki sir with a bouquet of flowers. Give a big hand. Now I requesting Tabassum Chaudhary Tanna to receive our Mr. Arif Pathan sir, founder and president of Polish Residential Model College, with a bouquet of flowers. Give a big hand for them. So now requested our honorable special guest Mr. Mahmudul Hassan Farki sir for give your speech.
At first, I would like to give my heartiest gratitude to the authority of Intra-School and College, especially the principal, Mr. Abdullah. Sir, he is very close to my heart, and I really appreciate such kind of auspicious occasion. You know, soft skills cannot be achieved through the academic lines. We have to achieve through this process. Everyone will gain something from this competition because you prepare yourself for this competition. So thank you everyone.
Now I'm requesting our honorable special guest Mr. Arif Pathan sir, founder and president of Polish Residential Model College, to give your special speech. Give a big hand.
একটি শিক্ষার্থী যখন ডিবেট কম্পিটিশন করে তখন সে চতুর্মুখী বিভিন্ন বিষয়ের উপর বিচরণ করে একটি নান্দনিক যুক্তির মাধ্যমে তার উপস্থাপনাকে প্রস্তুত করে। এই জাতির ধারকত্বকে যদি বহন করতে হয়, স্বাধীন সার্বভৌমত্বের যে রাষ্ট্রটি আমরা বিনির্মাণ করেছি সেটিকে যদি পৃথিবীর বুকে মাথা উঁচু করে দাঁড় করাতে হয়, তাহলে একদল চৌকস নেতৃত্বের গুণাবলী সম্পূর্ণ শিক্ষার্থী আমাদেরকে তৈরি করতে হবে। আজকের এই আয়োজনটি সেটি নিশ্চিত করছে বলে আমি ইউনাইটেড স্কুল অ্যান্ড কলেজের প্রতি আবারও অশেষ অফুরন্ত কৃতজ্ঞতা জ্ঞাপন করছি।
Honorable guests, judges, my colleagues, all the participants, Assalamu alaikum. I believe your presence has greatly enhanced the significance of this small event. As you know, from the inception of this school, continuously we have been striving for developing our students in every sector. I am proud to share with you that last year, out of 54 examinees, 34 students secured GPA 5 and the rest of the students get GPA 4 or above. During the National Education Week, our students achieved significant success. You know, one of our students awarded as the best student of Naranganj district, and our scout group already has been awarded as the best scout group of Arahajar, and almost 15 students secured first place in different competition. It's noteworthy that students from the urban area and cities area are reading the same book and acquiring the same knowledge. Moreover, students from the urban area, to some extent, they are more dedicated to their study. But in some cases, we have seen the students from cities area are more successful in their professional life. I believe students from the cities areas can express their talent effectively. To make our students more communicative and more smart, we are running different clubs in our schools like debating club, cultural club, social welfare club, scout club, and lots of club activities is happening in our schools. And English language club is one of the prominent club in our school. The main objective of this club is to enhance the communication skill of our students as they can share their knowledge and idea with the total world. To achieve the goal, our trainers and teachers are continuously working very hard. They are arranging different sessions, training sessions. They are arranging different competitions to make them more communicative. And that's why really thanks to Moklesur Rahman sir, who is the founder and director of Madani Education Care. He is giving his time from his busy schedule
Also thanks to Rakibul Hasan sir and Shoel sir for helping our club. As you know, in rural area, it is very tough to recruit English language teacher who can teaches our students phonetics and correct pronunciations, and that's why we have to hire teachers from cities area, which is more costly and that is not convenient for us always. So we are planning to train up our top performing students who can train their friends next time. Therefore, we are planning to train our top performing students to make them trainers. These students will get the teaching experience and also be paid off from this institution. So I think it will be very motivating to our students. Instead of paying tuition fees to this school, they will be paid off from here. I think it will be very interesting to our students. I request all of you, please keep us in your prayer as we can continue our journey with a lot of success. Thank you, everybody.
Announce the best speaker's name. She is none but the speaker, Pushpita Afroz Pushpo.
Winner team is for the motion of the topics. They are getting I think they are surprised. They can't believe that they can win.
And the judges, honorable judges, I'm thanking you all. And special guests, chief guests, and special thank goes to our principal, sir, Mr. Abdullah Mahmoud, sir, the principal, United School and College. And I'm thanking you all. And my heartiest felicitation again goes to you all. Thank you very much. And I'm really honored to be here in this beautiful day-long session today. Thank you all, and thanks Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala.